So I got fired from being a coach here, but before that, it was a place where you murdered chickens in the basement for God, I guess. And before that, it was I heard a punk venue for like 20 years. But how I got connected was we used to go to 16th and Mission above the bar every weekend. Every Thursday night, we would go and just basically wreak havoc until they sprayed and hosed down the sidewalk. But my friend turned that into an open mic and turned that into this space in the basement. He took out a lot of the objects and put in reclaimed wood. And he just would welcome all the vagrants and artists and bums. My friend slept on the stage for weeks and months when he had nowhere else to be. And I always would just go there just to be around. I did that for years. And then eventually one day I told my friend, I was like, I just love being here. I was like, oh, do you want a job? Oh, a job, it never occurred to me. So I started working like double shifts. I was doing carpentry in the daytime, and at night I would bartend behind this bar, and people would come in, and I would just be sort of like crying, but trying not to do it like openly. So I would just tell my sad stories while sad music played, and people would come in, and they would so frequently say the same thing. They would be like, "Oh, what do you sell here?" They're like, "Oh, everything is for sale here." And they would say, "Oh, are you for sale?" No. Oh. I'm not a dad. I love working at Beer Coach so much, but it was really hard for me because I would show up in the morning, and sometimes I would be there to work, and I have to like stop 2 blocks away, and I would just be like sobbing because I couldn't handle my life. But then I would go and cut wood. I did about a year of cutting wood, and I had 10 fingers, so I'm very proud. My job wasn't always cutting shit up, though. Sometimes I would go pick things up. And one day, we got a phone call. His girlfriend said there was a sign hanging over her shop. It had come loose. I guess Immunity hit it, and it was just dangling. And people were walking on the sidewalk in Mission and 18th, and over top, there's this like barely held on sign that probably weighed like 800 pounds. I have no idea. So I'm standing with him, and we're trying to figure out what do we do. We're just like 2 people, but no one else is doing shit. So step 1, get the fuck, look out, look up, stand away. And then I think we ended up getting some tape, so we set up some caution tape. We're trying to figure out who to call. We called the city, we called City Hall, we called the police, we called the fire department. Everyone's like, well, that's not really our problem while this thing is like swinging over the sidewalk. So I was like, I think we should call the fire department because I hear they have really big ladders. And we called them, and they were the only ones. The police wouldn't take responsibility. City Hall didn't want to do it. None of the politicians were interested. Someone even came by, but they were like, it's not really my responsibility. But the fire department came through, and I fucking love the fire department because they don't murder niggas in the street. No? Yeah. Jamie messaged me to tell me that she died on like a Tuesday. But I met her orientation weekend at Oberlin College. She started sleeping in the lounge at the end of the hall where my dorm room was because she had brought with her to school a 36-year-old man, and her roommates were uncomfortable with him sleeping in the same room, so they would sleep in the lounge for like a week. But then he was asked to leave, so I think they started sleeping in the basement of this cooperative until he threatened someone with a knife. So then he went to jail. Jamie was cool. She would do all kinds of crazy shit. Jamie told me one time about doing crack. And I was like, Jamie, why would anyone do crack after the 80s? And she said, because it's awesome. I couldn't argue with that. One time, she told me about how to unlock the heroin potential of poppy seeds by heating water just right. And we spent an afternoon trying to heat up some poppy seeds and just drinking this sort of lukewarm lemonade. I'm pretty sure she tried the nutmeg challenge. Jamie saved me though. One time I was on tour, I was driving from Nebraska to Colorado, from Lincoln to Denver in a snowstorm by myself because all the other people who were on the tour with me had dropped out one by one. And I called Jamie, and she came out of nowhere. She helped me finish the tour. We went, ended up in Santa Rosa. We drank an entire fifth of vodka on the way to the movie theater. Ended up fucking raw. Apparently she was on her period, which I only know because she told me later. You remember that time we fucked in a movie theater? I found my tampon 2 weeks later. Jamie was crazy, man. I remember we were in school one time. There was an anonymous social media app had just come out, so everyone was just confessing their secrets and their sins. And someone anonymously said, "I'll have sex with someone if they write this paper for me." And I was like, well, I don't want to study my own shit, so I was just curious, like, well, what's the paper about? We talked for a while until I found out, oh my God, it's Jamie. I saw Jamie right before she died. When I came back, I was thinking about her. I hit her up, like, hey Jamie, what's going on? And she messaged me, I'm dead. I didn't think much of it until about a week later, when on Facebook all these messages started coming up in my feed. Oh, Jamie, rest in peace. Oh, Jamie, I miss you. Jamie, oh no. And I, knew Jamie's crazy, so I didn't take it serious, but I hit up her family. They told me. And I just realized I should have been there. Because when I had nothing to live for in San Francisco, I flew out to Vegas, and she asked me to stay with her, and she drank herself to death. And I should have drank half of that alcohol.